I am Eon. It's Sunday, August the 10th, 2025. As I record this, let's go ahead and start looking at the sci-fi releases so far for August. First up, we have Second Dynasty. This is called the Auroch. Here's another view of the Auroch, and there's the Magpie that comes with another tier, I believe. 3D Art Guy is basically doing a fantasy release this month, but he did do Eomer the Lion, and there does seem to be a sci-fi version of that character if you want to use him as a Marine or, Space Knight or something like that. For the tribes on My Mini Factory, he has also put out Shooty Alien. These are for tribe members. Comes with a few different sculpts and a few different versions. Aftermath Studios has put out this image for the August release, which is a little bit different than we saw in the preview image. We have the Nostromo Survivors. These are slashers and leapers. Here is a particular survivor in 3 different poses with the flamethrower. It's a hefty helmet. This is an exploder necromorph. And this one I wasn't really sure what to call, obviously inspired by the upcoming Predator movie, and I just put The Hunt Begins. Anvil Digital Forge is doing Cyberpunk 3 colors and chrome. One of my viewers pointed out that they tend to be very expensive if you don't get them in the month of, and these models look really cool. There's a lot of options here to put together. I like the head choices and all that stuff. Might be worth checking out this month. There's lots of torsos. I like the variation in the torsos. Some show their stomachs, some don't. The capes are really cool. Those are really nice. The legs are all over the place. They're dynamic. There's a lot of options here. Really cool options, actually. Here's a couple that seem to be, I guess these are the collars, maybe, kind of magical to some extent. And just to show you how these can be put together in a few different ways. For the loyalty rewards, they have the Bastion platform, as well as some additional things and some Slim Hounds. And if you don't like these having certain characters, each of those colors, these are, again, they're called multi-shell. You can take them apart and it's still a complete model, which is really cool. Arcane Whiskers, I'm not sure which is what tier, so we're just going to put everything together here, is the Crystal Cavern Pack, Priscilla the Temple Agent, Ursa Cord's Cub, crystal part of the Crystal Cavern Pack, the crystal. Here's the Crystal Pond and a small crystal cluster. Large geode, and from the front and the back, just to show you that it is a geode. And some stone pillars as well. Archvillain Games for the month of August is doing Empire of the Stars, Daughters of Neith. Here's a Doom Spinner. And a variant of that Doom Spinner. The High Weaver and the High Walker. Skittering Death A, version 1, 2, and 3. Skittering Death B, versions 1, 2, and 3. Slightly different weapons on these. Here's a Eternal Weaver A. Comes in about 5 different sculpts along with a leader. The Eternal Weaver B. So a different weapon choice, I believe. Comes in 5 different sculpts as well as a leader. Here's a Webwalker A. Again, comes in about 5 different sculpts along with a leader. Webwalker B seems to be more of a melee option, along with the leader as well. So like undead spider folk. Atlan Forge has the Glyptodon siege tank. There are, of course, different weapon options and even different bulldozer options. Can't think of what you call that thing offhand. Battlecat Miniatures has Ancient Warfare. We saw this over in the fantasy video as well. The Iberian Catrati Infantry, the Iberian Medium Cavalry, Iberian Scutari Infantry. For Horse and Musket, you get some Napoleonic Spanish 1802 Light Infantry. It's a very specific year. The Napoleonic Spanish Battalion de la Muerta, Napoleonic Spanish Horse Artillery. Come in a few different varieties. For the World War II release, there are the French AMC Schneider P16 half-tracks. And it was pointed out to me that these were designed to help prevent them from getting stuck. World War II French AT rifle teams, French engineers, French sniper teams. Quite a detailed release. For Grim Wars, there is a fantasy release, but that's over in the fantasy video. Here we have Galactic Wars. So some troops and a way to transport them. And then for the Great Trench Wars. Beyond Space, just to remind you, has changed up their tribe. I think they still have some of the dollar slots left, y'all. There's the Exalted Crusade, Exalted Bannerman, and Darius the Ordained Executioner. I'm not exactly sure how many models they plan on releasing each month, but some nice looking models so far. Claudio Casini Art put out this guy here. Seems to be like a graffiti artist of sort. Creature Crusade, as I best can tell, has Shalmazar, the first warlock. And again, these models for the game Paradise, they basically give you a full set of 12 models along with the rules to play this game. Custom Miniature Maker is usually more fantasy, but we have a lot of rebar and concrete in this release. So that speaks sci-fi to me. So if you're looking for some more scatter terrain, there's all of this. With the terrain rollers, there's several options that really are more science fiction or even modern. You have the skull and concrete debris, remains littered debris with some various concrete and rock and stuff. There's a crumbling concrete wall with rebar all throughout. Interior ruined floor. And a derelict shutter wall. Now, I thought it was pretty cool if you roll this out and use a couple of their cutters that you can 3D print as well. You can make your own custom ruined walls as you would like. There's also some broken concrete pillars that would fit well with this too. Cyberforge Studio has Grim Realms, Titan City Stories, and some terrain. For their Grim Realms, we have the Legion of Slaughter. There's Skarn. A lot of detail, a lot of skulls. Hellspawn Beast. A couple of variants of that. Slaughter Berserkers. Looks like they come with a sword and pistol or a double-handed chain sword. For the Titan City Stories, there's the Blood Dominions. Here's a Pyramid Shrine, and it's just has a guy hanging out on its shield. There's a Dimmer Assassin, Dimmer Azebs, and a couple of civilians. For the modular terrain, you get some walls, as well as, I suppose those are crates or storage devices. And for the bases, looks to be like some sort of rocky terrain. Dakka Dakka has put out some previews for August. Here's a list of everything we can expect in August. Here's the MSC Operations Team 2nd Division and an MSC Warfielder Mark III. Reminds me of Titanfall. Pretty excited for this release, actually. Here's an MSC APC Solar Wind, MSC Robot Planes and Turret. Here's Rot, Le Chef, and Spivier, and Cartel Psychokinesis and Theodore the Grande Headhunter. Pluto's Mechanized Liquidation Team. And then here's Seraphiel, the Saint of Ordine Vendetta. This is for the Titan of Mankind tier, for those of you that want the bigger model. Sorry, hit that a little bit fast. Dark Fleet's Rising is doing Terran Special Forces, Venerated Ancient Battleships. You can put together an Armageddon class, a Destroyer class, or a Sovereign class. Dragon Trappers is probably a fantasy release, but this Dvorshka Warsmiths looks too sci-fi for me to not include it. This piece of terrain on the right, I believe, is a loyalty reward. But here's the Tsar. He comes in several different weapon option loadouts. There's Boris the Gearsmith and a Dvorshka Commander, Hammer Mech and Dvorshka Mech, Incinerator, Fire Blast, and Jump Jet. And then we have the Storm Raider. Now, this guy comes in a lot of varieties. I think I've got one or two duplicated, and I don't think that's quite my fault. But let's see. We got the Tesla Gun, Tesla Mace, Plasma Mace, Plasma Gun, Plasma Spear, Plasma Spear twice, Tesla Rifle, Tesla Spear, and some Warsmith's bases, which look a lot like Trench Crusade for anybody interested in that. Now, they also have an upcoming Frontier that you can still go sign up for to get notified when it comes out, called Operation Inferno. This is for fantasy, but again, that guy just looks like sci-fi to me. I still think he's a cool looking model that you could add somewhere. Duncan Shadow has Atropal here. Atropal. I guess, I don't know if it's fantasy or sci-fi. That kind of creeps me out. We're going to move on. He called them as Tonks. I think that is an intentional misspelling of tank. But these are designed to be printed, I think, pretty easily on your FDM printer. And you can see how they're split and how they would be put together. In addition, the sheepfolk come with some rifles and crossbows, so we'll include those if you need some sci-fi fantasy folks. Dungeons and Dreadnoughts has put out Iron Might as a preview. Really curious to see what they do with these heavy armored guys and lightly armored guys. Different helmet options there. There's the Iron Might mech and an elk worm. Next up is Edge Miniatures. Edge Miniatures is kind of a little bit more all over the place than I thought they would be, which is a good thing. I'm looking forward to this. Here we see the Skyborn Empire. These are ghost suits. I do believe these are the 28mm line. I could be wrong. Then again, there's the Skyborn Empire is 8mm, so these are the smaller models. Here's the Skyborn Empire as well, and I believe these beacon and target drones are for the 8mm. The Tech Pirates have some bikes that are coming out that are for the 8mm as well. And here's these ghost suits again as for 8mm. Notice they come either with chain guns or with fusion plasma. The Tech Pirates have a bunch of different weapons that can go on the jet bikes. And I'm really glad they did this right here. Here's what a piercer rifle looks like. Here's what a strife rifle, a dark matter rifle, a piercer cannon, etc., etc., etc. Just really cool to see the options there. Also for the Cursed Elves, there's the 8mm Cursed Titan Knight. Seems to come in a few variants and varieties with lots of different options there. 8LEG Miniatures has put this out, and I'm not exactly sure if this is a full model or just accessories. It says, here's a bunch of armor for your lizards. So different weapon options for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what to tell you there. Filamentio has put out this look for August. anti-air laser teams, and some Spongeback sphere medium mechs. Forbidden Prince has the Pit. These seem to have like a lava option or not a lava option, and it probably doesn't have to be lava or, I guess, magma, but, well, no, lava will be on the surface. But yeah, so there's lots of different variations on this theme here. What is it? Mustafar? Is that the planet that Vader ends up calling home? I may be wrong. In addition, for their Golden Horde tier, they get a District 12 dice tower. Gaz Minis has given us this preview here of some artwork, so hopefully we'll see some better renders and even prints of the models for this month. Ghamak has put out the preview art that we saw in the preview video. Mantic Vault has some accessories for the mule, along with a few other things. We'll come back and look at this in a little bit more detail. Marchen Atelier has the Zumbami Baba, obviously inspired by Baba Yaga's cottage, right? Or house, hut. Vasis the Hound, and Kotel Baba. Modern Miniatures showed off this tank. It was pointed out to me that apparently Patreon and Tribe get slight variant differences of the two, but that's just a nice looking model. Nice paint job, everything. One page rules preview showed this artwork here. We'll look and see more of what's coming in the month of August, and they'll be continuing with their version of orcs. I know not everybody is a fan of those orcs, but they're definitely unique. Papsikels has put out a preview. First up, I'm pretty excited about the Powered Armored Suit Marine. Looks a lot like a Terran from StarCraft, in my opinion. The Grendel King Clan Leader Warlord Skull Hunter 2. Benjamin Verdo Olges. Predahulk Skull Hunter, and Pilot Killer Skull Hunter. There's multiple varieties of these. I needed to put more of these in. I thought they already had them in. I guess I haven't. Here we see the Progressive People, number 24, and a Xeno Spitter. Print Minis have given us some preview art. They tend to release throughout the month, so we're definitely going to try to catch up with them pretty soon. Soul Forge Studios had the preview of this walking tank. Cool. Txarli Factory has UKTC compatible. I'm not sure what that stands for. Anybody care to fill me in, please let me know. But pretty cool ruined buildings. UGLYmini put out this preview here. Seem to be some mutants, I would say. Might be good for Mantic's Plague, actually. Unit 9 has shown us Micro Machine Corporation. Here's Anders Haxley, a Spectre Watch, MK6 Hollowfang. Is it a tank? Is it a drone? I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to come back and look more into August and the sci-fi releases, but I wanted to give you this first rundown look while I could. There's still a lot of August left, and we'll be coming back in more detail. Thanks for watching. See you soon.